So it's been a while since my last upload. I've been busy with stuff, so today we're gonna be looking at Evil Blood, the first non-sword deck I'm doing this expansion. I kind of locked myself into a sword only GM run, so I can only play sword on the ladder, which is why I've been waiting for the Grand Prix to be able to test out other decks from other classes. And the first deck I wanted to play with is Evil Blood. So that's what we're doing today. It's a very, I would describe it as a very fair mid-range deck. It can do a lot of things. Obviously, Evil Abuse is a staple of Shadowverse. It's a pretty decent deck. It's not super strong, but it can do a lot of things. It can heal, it can board clear, it can burn damage, but it doesn't do any of them super well, which is why it's still around the mid tier. The issue with recording games from Grand Prix, of course, is that the copyrighted music stage is the only stage in Grand Prix, so I will have to put my own music, so I hope you have to bear with that for this game. Anyway, about the deck itself, this is the deck list I am running now. I've looked around on various lists from people playing it in JCGs and whatever, and after some testing, this is the list that I am settling on for now. I'll talk a bit about the tech cards in a moment, but yeah, the deck's very expensive, but it's pretty fun, so you can give it a try if you want. And let's just talk about the tech cards. So I thought that including a little tech card section for these kind of videos might be a bit more useful for people who are trying to experiment with the deck themselves. So these are the cards that I've seen people running as tech for this deck. So let's go through them one by one. First, Owl Cat Girl. If you've never seen Owl Cat Girl before, it's a 1/1. You banish a card from your hand and put it into your deck, and it gives you a Package Owl Cat. Package Owl Cat, of course, notably works with Dublame. So even though this one's a 2 cost, which is a bit annoying to play, but if you play this with Dublame evolved on the field, that Owl Cat will also evolve. The main value for this card, there is 2 major values. First of all, you can put your Ruler of Retribution back in the deck, and second of all, for your curve, this is a 1 play point play and a 2 play point play in 1 card, which might help you smooth out your early game a bit before you get to start evolving. So that's Owl Cat Girl. Downsides, it's very weak in the late game. It's actually not super strong in general. It doesn't evolve or anything, which is why I don't really like running it myself. Next is Goblin Genius. This is one of the ones that I am running at 3. It's a very weird card. It's a 1 cost 1/1 bronze. It free evolves if your opponent has 3 followers and you have 0, which I'll be honest, does not occur too often, but the value of having a free evo that triggers before your evo turns is so high in this deck because of how your payoffs are locked behind 5 or more evos, which is why I feel that it's necessary to run this card even if you don't get to actually use him to evolve early that often. Even in the late game, he's a 1 PP free evo, which comes in handy if you're just trying to hit your win condition counts, or just board clear is also fine. This card comes in handy decently often, which is why I like running it at 3. If you don't like it, you don't have to run it, of course. It's a bit bricky sometimes, especially early game if your opponent's not playing a follower heavy deck. Late game also, if your opponent's not playing a follower heavy deck, that card can often just get in the way. Next, Let's Feast in Style. This was run last expansion in Evil Blood. You use it to buff followers and draw. It's a pretty straightforward card. It's a 1 PP spell that cycles and gives you a buff. Not much to say here. Generally, I feel like there's just better things you could be running with your deck slots instead of this, which is why I don't run it. You can run this if you want. Next, Harmonic Wolf. Harmonic Wolf has been stapled in almost every Blood deck since it has been released. Last expansion we also played this in Evil Blood, but now we have a lot of draw with Kyrie, we have Asuka and Shiori, we have Gadel, we have Alice. This deck has a lot of draw, which is why I do not think Harmonic Wolf is super important. The self-pick can also get you killed sometimes, especially against Wrath Vengeance Blood, which is a bit more aggressive. As for upsides, Goblin stats that has last withdraw card, very powerful card of course. You play early game, it's very difficult for your opponent to clear. Your opponent clears it, you draw one card. If your opponent doesn't clear it, you just start hitting their face or clearing their followers. Important to note in this meta in particular is that this is free real estate for a Nightly Thief who can just get farm free Gilded Blades off you for if you leave this on board, which is another reason why I don't really like this card and I'm not really running it right now. But again, you can run it if you want. One of the more popular choices for this deck. Next, Mikael. Mikael is mostly here for the heal. Your rally 10 is honestly like turn 6 or 7. It's not super useful, which is why there's only one copy of Mikael here. I would only recommend running one copy if at all, but I wouldn't really recommend it at all. The healing is like sometimes useful, board clear is sometimes useful, but most of the time it's just a break if you draw it. Not super useful, so I wouldn't really recommend it that much. Next is Angel of Darkness, mainly run for the Heal Haven matchup, of course. Very effective against Heal Haven because it just explodes their entire board for 2 PP. Unlike most decks, running Angel of Darkness is actually not too bad for this one because it's an evolve effect and you're already building around evolving stuff. So you don't really hate evolving this that much. That being said, it's not a strong payoff card, it's not free evo, so it's a bit low priority as well. You can run this if you want, honestly. It can go either way. I don't hate it. This is one of the better tech options in my opinion. Next, Winged Inversion. I've seen some people running this. I, to be honest, don't super get why. You can do weird stuff like if you have an evolve follower on board, you can unevolve it with Winged Inversion and then evolve this. Evolve the Fallen Angel for 0 PP, which can get you out of some weird board lock situations, I guess, and it can also help you remove particularly annoying followers, of course. That being said, I do not think it's super useful, so I don't really run it myself. You can try it out if you want. Next, Provisions of Plenty. It's just a mulligan card. Again, it's just a draw engine. You can run it if you think it's useful. You can use it with Lian and Elfie as well. You can fuse into them and then play this card if you want. I'm not really a big fan of running this kind of Evil Blood. It doesn't like evolve or anything, right? So I don't run it. You can if you want. Just an option for you. Next is Bloody Session, which I am a fan of. I'm a fan of this card. It's very unassuming, like 2 cost bronze card. It's quite strong in this deck in particular because you have Rule of Retribution and you have Lian and Elfie, which are very cheap high stat followers, which you can use to just heal up clear boards. Healing is very important, of course. Against Loot Sword, you need to heal beyond their lethal ranges. Against the aggro blood, you need to heal up to keep yourself healthy, and the board clear is very useful, especially for clearing Haven boards, because they can get a bit big at times. Maybe your followers have trouble. It's sort of like a poor man's graceful maneuver from Opulent. You can especially use this to clear the ambushers from Heal Haven, which can lose you the game if you can't answer them. So this is an answer for them, which is why I like running it. You can also use it to get rid of Wards to Go Face. A lot of uses for this card. Downsides, of course, it's a brick. You need 2 targetable blood followers, so it's not super useful in the early game. And it doesn't evolve or anything either, so that's what's worth considering for this card. I personally like it, so I run it. Next is Avnus. I've seen like one person running this card, but I thought I would mention it because I thought it was a bit interesting. This is Fanfare. You summon a Serpent and then you evolve the Serpent, so it's a... If you're going second, this is technically a pre-turn 4, I mean a pre-evil turn evil, but it only evolves once, so it's like kind of useless. You can get the Giant Cobra, you can accelerate the Cobra, which gives you another two Serpents if you accelerate the Cobra, which is more evils. I mean, like, it's a weird card, honestly. I wouldn't really run it personally, but just mentioning it in case you wanted to. Fenrir, I've also seen some people run. It just trade it. It's a rare case of Evil Blood having access to hard board clear, but at 5 BP it's just a bit too heavy, which is why I don't run it. Yeah, that's it for this one. And then Odin is an interesting card. I've never actually tried this one myself. I included it as an interesting pick because it's being run by one of the pro players in the Rage Shadowverse Pro Tour. They brought Evil Blood and they're running one copy of Odin, which I thought was interesting. I mean, if you think about it, you can use to unlock your board. This also helps you clear the ambushes from Heal Haven. Gets you past very annoying wards like Draziel, or in the mirror, Leon and Alfie. It helps you get past wards against Heal Haven. And it's also a storm card if you get it low enough. So yeah, interesting pick. You can try it out if you want. And that's it for the tech cards. So let's just jump into some games. So our first match for today will be against Heal Haven and we're going second. We're playing Evil Blood, so going second is not too bad for us. We handle going second a lot better than other decks do because our deck is so reliant on Evils. Let me pause here and talk about the mulligan. So for the mulligan here, as you can see, I kept Signa and Doublame. The mulligan is not super straightforward for this deck because there are some cards you always keep, but sometimes it depends on the matchup. But here, in this case, Doublame and Signa, I would just always keep them. They're usually very good. Just they can't go wrong with keeping them. They're good before your evil. Well, Doublame is good before your evil and also after your evil, so keeping them is fine. Signa is very important as a 1 PP free evil. And yeah, let's just keep going while I talk about it. So free evils, of course, this deck is built around them. They're very important for your deck because your payoffs all trigger based on evil count. So ideally you want to hit 3 evils on your first evil turn, which is why Signa is so valuable as a 1 PP that evils for free. Here I'm just tossing out the Doublame here. She can come in handy. Even if I don't get to keep her on board, the Leoparon comes in handy later if I draw another Doublame, or just as a board clear option. As you can see here, they are running Apostle and they played Apostle, which is actually the reason why I'm not playing Signa out so early. Signa is very important, so obviously you get more benefit out of her if you get her out early and then you can save the 1 PP for something else later on, but if you're playing against a deck that can clear her, it's very risky to play her out, which is why in this case I'm saving the Signa. And then I just plot down Kirei here. I don't really need Kirei next turn. He's technically a 1 PP Evo as well, but as you can see from my hand, I already have a lot of card draw and I have multiple choices for 1 PP's Evos. So I don't really need the Kirei right now, so I'm just throwing him out here. Bonus is that Heal Haven has trouble clearing followers early on. They have Apostle and they have Mom's Examination Hall, and that's about it. Unless they do some weird Lu shenanigans, of course, there's always that, and there's Verdelia. But I don't really need this Kirei to stick, but if it sticks, it's very beneficial for me, which is why I'm just gonna dump it out. And as you can see, a Kirei stuck on the board, which let me get a lot of free evil payoff here. So just put on the 2 Signas. Once the Signas get to 3 defense, they're much harder to clear, and also I need the evil count. As you can see here, I just dump out the Leon and Alfie, which may look like it's a bit of a waste of them since their effect is so powerful after they transmute. In this case, I have another copy of them, so it's not so bad. Also, I just want to get the free evil count. It's more important to get your evil count there than to actually save them for a 5/5. And then I can just toss out the Leoparon here. There's no real reason to save it. You can just chipping some face damage. It makes their Lu more inconsistent as well if they get the Lu here, which they do not, I believe. So of course, classic Heal Haven turn 5, Aether into Illuvia, and then they trade into them, which is fine. I'm only at, if I check here, I'm only at 4 evils here, and I want to get 7 here, which is, well, honestly, it's not really possible. So the next best thing is to just get to 5 evils. I have Leon and Alfie here. I can put this very nasty board behind a ward, and it's a huge problem for them. So that's what I go for here. I just evolve the Leoparon to hit 5 evils, and then just transmute Leon and Alfie. a very sticky wall after they transmute for just 1 PP, which is kind of ridiculous. And then I'm saving the ambush on the other Signa in case they manage to do some weird stuff with their board here. I mean, it's not impossible for them to clear a decent amount of this. So here they have double Lu, which is annoying, I guess. It's fine, really. They're gonna evolve the Kira and then they're gonna trade to my follower. And then they can poke Lu. So here they both hit Kyrie, which leaves me with this, which is obviously... it's just... I mean, they can't see my hand, but it's most likely game over. I'm at, what, 5 evos? I just need... It's very likely that I win this game because they left this up. Less likely than they think, but still very likely. So, they just can't see here, which is fine. And that's it for this game. We're going to the next one. So for this game, it's against the other titan of the meta, Loot Sword, and they are going first, which is good for them, and going second is also not too bad for us. To be frank with you, this matchup is quite bad. So about the mulligan here, since I'm going second against a more aggressive deck, keeping Asuka and Shiori is worth it. They are a 1 PP you can play on turn 4, on your evo turn on turn 4, which you can evolve, so it's like a 1 PP evo. And then with some free evo payoffs, you can help you reach your 3 count, which is what I'm aiming for with keeping them. And then I'm just gonna pass here. And they're just passing, apparently. And they played the penguin. Here I play Doublame because there's no really reason to have to save them here. And then after I play the Doublame, I pick up the Owlcat. I'm gonna mention here, picking the Owlcat here is actually a misplay. Very rarely is the Owlcat worth it. Generally you pick Leoparon like 99% of the time. And you can see here they played the Scout. So here they have a Blade and then they use the boots to accelerate, to crush the Scout. Important to note here, if they trade the Scout into my Doublame and then they trade the Penguin, this package Owlcat suddenly becomes really bad because I can't use it to clear the Penguin, whereas if I picked Leoparion, I would have been able to clear the Penguin. What Owlcat does work against is the Bandit, Nightly Thief, that's the one. But generally our followers all have 2 or more attacks, so the Thief will equate to around like 1 loot, which is not too bad, so honestly probably worth keeping the Leoparion over the Owlcat here. But luckily for me, they misplay here and they trade the Penguin. I guess they need to draw or something. And then here the Owlcat can come in handy. And then here I'm making a gamble that they can't actually clear Leon and Alfie. Obviously it's actually possible for them to be able to clear it, but I'm hoping they can't. I really need the free evo. As you can see from my hand here, I don't have enough to get 3 evos next turn, so I'm hoping that this can stick and I can get the free evo. It's a bit of a gamble. And then it's their turn and they play a dashing duelist, so they can't clear the Leon and Alfie, which is very good for me. I'm pretty sure they're trying to find Rogers here, they probably haven't found him yet. And then here we can play Asuka Shiori, and thanks to the Leon and Alfie sticking on the board earlier, I can now evolve them. And of course, getting Kyrie out here while I can, just to get some card draw going and find my free evo payoffs. And then this is a very big board for them to deal with Rogers. Against Sword, generally building a big board before their Rogers turn, if you can help it, is very beneficial to you, because I mean, it's a very telegraphed play. You can sort of punish them for it by making a board that Rogers can't clear. Or that's the hope at least. So here they have the Rogers. I guess they found the Rogers. That's good for them, I guess. And with the Gunner, this does not clear this board, I don't think. It comes very close though, but for some reason they went with the Goblet instead of getting the boots and rushing the Tidal Gunner and then getting rid of the Kyrie as well. So they left this kind of ridiculous board for me. I'm just trying to find my free evos and my payoffs. My hand's like not super good right now, so I need to find my payoff soon, which is what I'm trying to do. You start dealing damage to their face. Important thing to know about Evil Blood is that we don't have like any like real OTKs. If you want to kill them, you have to just keep pressuring damage to their face. So just try to weave in your damage where you can. Plan when your damage is most effective at certain points in the game. Here I'm very close to winning actually, but for some reason I'm just not able to get there because my hand, as you can see, is lacking a lot of damage. I am at 5 evil, so Grimnir is not active yet, which puts me very far from getting this 7 out, which is very unfortunate for me, because they might be able to heal next turn if they are careful. The benefit for me is that their loot is very behind and they spend their entire time playing Opulence, so I am nowhere close to dead yet. So while I am of course very slow here in killing them, I have the time to do it because they can't kill me either. But I managed to find Leoparon here, I managed to chip more damage, which is very good for me. And this puts me at 7 evils, so next time Grimnir should hopefully finish the game. If not, I can go for Olivia, Sylvia and Alice to extend the game more and start drawing through my deck to find more damage. Which, I mean, I'm very stable position here on, obviously. They will just went straight for Grade 2 maneuver here. I feel like there might have been a route for the Merchant's Appraisal here that they didn't go for, especially with the Dashing Duelist in their hand. So probably a bit of a misplay from them here. But since they didn't heal, can just drop Grimnir and finish the game, yeah. This matchup is generally a bit bad for Evil, but if your opponent doesn't draw very well or if you draw well, you can still win. Yeah, that's it. Next game. Next we have a game against Blood, and this time we're going first, which is maybe a bit different from all the going second you've seen so far. Going first against Blood especially, I like to keep Kyrie. It helps weaken early aggression, and it's just some draw because your hand is a bit thinner when you're going second. I mean when you're going first instead of second. And then we still don't know what kind of blood this is. It's probably the aggro blood that's going around right now. And yep, Razor Clock confirms this is aggro, vengeance, wrath, everything blood. And early game we don't really have to do anything, we can just pass. There's not really much to do, honestly. Just play Kirei here just to draw into the deck a bit. My hand's a bit shit right now, which is why I need to draw. And there they managed to trade it. Maybe playing Kirei wouldn't have been so good. So here I played out the Signa. If you look at my opponent, they're at 4 times damage. I don't have to worry about Diablo's Hedone clearing it, and if they want to waste the Silver Snipe clearing my Signa, that's good for me. And here they actually play Galom to clear, which is also good for me. They're wasting a lot of damage here by spending the Galom here. I have another Signa, I have Leon and Alfie, I have Blooming Dancer. Honestly, my next turn is already sort of set in stone even without the Signa, so I can afford to play out the Signa there to bait something, and if the Signa's stuck, I would have been able to do more damage. Here I draw Gadel, which is actually very nice for me. It's a bit of healing. So the Blooming Dancer here. Technically I would have been able to keep the Signa on board here if I didn't target the Signa and I targeted the Blooming Dancer instead, but I don't really think it matters in the long run. If anything, it denies them a target to trade into with their Vicious Blitzer, which they didn't have, so they just went for the Blade here instead. And just trying to damage me. We, on the other hand, don't have to work so hard to damage them because we should wait until our damage payoffs start being active before we start pushing their face too hard. So just play a slow and safe game, heal up, keep yourself healthy, and just get your evil count, and don't put them in vengeance, and you should have a decent match against them. We have quite a decent amount of healing, so Leon and Alfie is very effective at blocking their damage. Of course, if they have direct burn like Vulgus and Galom and Silver Snipe, they can obviously still go direct to face, but stuff like this Fenrir, for example, and Diablo's Hedone also gets blocked by them, Leon and Alfie. And what was the other one? Maron. Maron, right, yeah. And you can see here I'm at 6 evils already. I'm already almost ready to start dealing a lot of damage to them, which is why I'm ready to start dealing damage here. Just play Tavali here to start chipping them down. The goal is for them to chip themselves down after this, and then I can finish off the game after that. So here, as you can see, the storm is being blocked by Leon and Elfie very effectively here. And they've put themselves at 8 with 1 damage on board here. So that like basically anything I do is lethal here. I could just like, yeah. So this is, yeah. Just play carefully, don't put them in vengeance. Play towards your own win con, keep yourself healthy and save your wards, and then you should be able to win this matchup quite straightforward. A bit short, so let's go on to another game. So for this next game, we'll be going against Shadow, and the reason why I want a game against Shadow is because there is some talk of Barrow Ride being decent. It's sort of rising up the ranks a little bit in terms of how highly it's rated by players, which is why I wanted to talk a bit about Barrow Ride. So with a hand like this, we don't really have to do anything, we just wait for our Evo turn, so we just pass turn. Just wait. You can afford to take the chip damage, we have a decent amount of healing, it's fine. Just let them play out their followers, we should save them for when they can actually get their payoffs. Like their free evils or like post after evo effects. So here we can use Goblin Genius here, it's a free evo for 1 PP, which is very valuable, of course. And then just don't commit any of our super valuable cards, just play out the free evils and just get the evil count up while just hitting them. Signa is a bit dangerous to play against Barrow Ride because they have leads which will ping random 3, which can just kill your Signa. But on the other hand, this board is a bit difficult for them to handle if they don't have leads, so hopefully they don't, and there's the Ghost. And let's see if we can clear it, and we have Necromancer, which does not clear the Asuka and Shiori, which means they can go face. About Leon and Elfie here, usually I could get this out if I wanted to, I'm pretty sure, yeah I can. But there's no real value in doing it right now. Usually with Leon and Elfie you want to use it to block a board or use it to block face damage. Next turn it's gonna be doing neither, we know Miroel is coming. So no matter what board I try to hide behind Leon and Elfie, it's getting clear anyway, so there's no point. And it's better to save Leon and Elfie for after their Miroel turn. So that's what I'm gonna do. For now, just get your evil count up and just chip their face where I can. Of course Signa is also bad to play here, in case you're thinking about it. Same reason, it's very easily cleared by Miroel. So just chip their face and then just clear the board, and there's the Miroel as we expected. Miroel is actually not a big deal for us because Bloody Session, we are running Bloody Session in this deck, which let us clear their board and heal for 2 PP. It has great synergy with Leon and Elfie and with the Wheel of Retribution here, which will help me clear their board and heal up all the damage they've dealt, while also chipping their face here since I've hit 7 evils. Just make sure to get the trade order here so that you can maximize the damage. Doing that first lets me send Alice to their face, and then just Bloody Session to heal and ping their face, and now they have to somehow answer Leon and Elfie as well as this board, which they cannot do. So they're trying to look for an answer, and I guess they couldn't find it, so they conceded. One more game. So I have one last game for you today. A lot of games because the games are quite short. This one's against Portal. We don't know what kind of Portal it is. There's two main decks, which is Control and Machina, that's running around right now. So we just look for our free evils, look for our early game, and just, yeah. So we just passed, nothing to do here, no reason to play out the Signa. Do Blaine on 2 is a very classic play, just pick up the Leo Perion. Pressure their face if they don't clear it. Harvard Biker here tells us this is Machina, of course. Against Machina we... I think usually we are pretty favored against Machina. I'll just play the Kyrie here, I don't really need it, I have a decent amount of draw in my hand already, so just put it out to just block some damage from hitting my face. No reason to play anything from hand here, so I'm just gonna hit their face and pass. And they have the Robotics Reporter. If they're smart here, they'll trade the Assembly Droid, but I guess they decide to trade the Reporter instead. As usual with then against Machina, we leave limited things. For this reason, Signa is very effective against them. It's very good. Signa is very good at leaving limited board for them to mess with. Unfortunately, Gadel doesn't quite clear the Reporter here, so I can't use the Leo Perion and destroy it with Gadel. So I'll just leave the Leo Perion there. It gives them 3 defense worth of targets to trade into, which maybe is a bit annoying, but it should be fine for us. And then they play Asuka Chiori here to heal, which is fine for us because it's still slowing down their win condition. And their board is all 1/1s now. But here I see an opportunity here with this like very disgusting hand to hide a big board behind Leon and Alfie. Machina has a very bad time dealing with Leon and Alfie, especially before their 10 Machina count, because Gratina doesn't work, so they can't clear my board. So the idea behind this play is to make sure they can't clear the Alices and then just go for game next turn. So this is obviously a bit of a high roll, but double Leon and Alfie plus double Alice behind them, and then just Signa to go face here. And I'm pretty sure there's a 1 game. I don't think they have an answer for this. Just keep in mind that you can do this against decks that can't answer Leon and Alfie, and that's it for this game. So that's it for today's video. It ended up being a bit longer than I expected it to be, honestly. I hope you got to see this deck in action and got some idea of how to play this deck. Honestly, it's a fairly straightforward deck, which is why I like playing it like casually, like while I'm in this busy period where I need to save my brain power. I can't be playing Loot Sword and then frying my brain, and I can't do anything else for the day, right? So it's a bit expensive, of course. It's like almost entirely legendary, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's a fun deck. It's not too strong, it's not too weak. It's very straightforward mid-range gameplay if you're into that sort of thing. It's a very traditional feeling deck. And also if you want to experience the Shadowverse specialty of evolving, this is the deck for you. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long of a video for you this time, and I'll see you whenever I have time to do this again. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Do the usual YouTube liking and subscribing and whatever, and yeah, bye bye.